Hello and welcome to Destiny Digits. This is the birthday reading for number 3. So if you're watching this, you know that your birthday number reduces to 3, and you are all about fun and joy and love. Threes are just very social. Um, they are the life of the party, the social butterflies. You're expressive, creative, artistic. I just feel like you guys fly by the seat of your pants, and you use that energy to just propel you into all different experiences that fulfill you emotionally. Um, so your birthday number is an energy that you can tap into. Imagine you've had multiple personalities. Every number, 1 through 9, 11 and 22, when reduced, are 2 and 4. So they are all of 2 and 4. They possess all of that with a little extra, which makes them master. But nonetheless, numbers 1 through 9 are literal people. Those are personalities. And so your life path is your opportunity, but your birthday number is another personality that you can tap into to assist you as you fulfill and master your life path. So keep that in mind. Threes, as we go. So let's just talk about what we've pulled so far. So at the top, we have protection, guardian, drop your shields. And so spirit is just saying that you are living a physical and a spiritual experience simultaneously. But physically, when we're looking at life and we're aware of certain things, we feel that we need to stand guard. We have to push forward. We have to do many things at once. But spirit is saying, remember that you have a spiritual team available to you, and we are protecting you, so you don't have to worry about your defense and being guarded. We're here for you. We have you. Go forward with your mission. You are protected. Someone is literally assigned to you that watches your every move, watches anybody in your environment. Like, they can see everything. And it's not a past, present, future type of vision for them to be able to see, but it's like a now, like just seeing your entire story. Spirit just knows where to be and how to be in order to keep you protected. So realize that. So drop your shields, because you have some that are already surrounding you. So next card we have is Heart Guardian. It says love and let yourself be loved, right? I immediately just think of the energy of the Queen of Cups, right? Not only giving love, but being open. This is being so comfortable with love, not being fearful, knowing that it exists, and knowing that you have the tools within to manipulate it, to play with it, to experience it, right? We have Peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. So threes, I immediately connect this card to others, right? So when we talk about being right or being wrong, we're talking about our opinion versus the opinion of another. And so you are social creatures. And so you may have large friendship groups. You may have different pods of people that you connect with at different times, but nonetheless, you have different expressions of self. And in those environments, you get to reflect different aspects of who you are. And you are opinionated. You're very verbal, right? You are optimistic also. And so not many people possess optimism when they think about what is to come. People don't have that. And so a 3 is naturally that way. You see the best, you expect the best. But nonetheless, rely on your joy and your love when connecting with others. So in some situations, Spirit is just saying peace should be a priority, right? It doesn't matter who's right. It doesn't matter who's wrong. But peace between you and another is what's more important. That's the priority in a certain connection. So think of your unions. Think of any potential discord that you may have with another. And just realize that in those connections, it's really not about who knows what and how. It's not about the truth. It's not about the wisdom. It's about being able to maintain a connection no matter the differences in opinion. At the bottom of the deck, we have shaman. It says trust in the higher forces. So I feel like 2 times spirit is telling you to recognize the aspect of spirit in your life. 1, by dropping your shields because spirit has you, but 2, by trusting that you have a connection to something higher, to the divine, to what has created us all. So trust that it exists and trust that you have a relationship with it. And if you're not comfortable in that relationship, then that is a relationship that you need to grow to jump into this space of love, right? I feel like the major lesson in life is love. Major lesson in life is love. My left foot ankle just like got very warm when I transitioned from trusting to letting love in and being loved. So, nonetheless, we have Heart Guardian. Love and let yourself be loved. Alrighty, let's get ready for our next cards, threes. All right. So we have my super attractor power comes from how I feel, my faith and love, and the joy I put out. And so in this energy, this means that what you vibrate attracts the same vibration, right? You can only get what you give. And so when you are living in a space of joy and faith and love, and that is the foundation for all that you are, that is exactly what you bring to you. And so spirit is saying that if you feel defensive, if you feel like you have to protect yourself from certain people, places, and things because they may be a threat to you, not only can you drop your shields because spirit has you, but you can also make sure that vibrationally, energetically, you are resonating, you are outputting love, you are outputting joy. Because if that is the space that you live in, then you are attracting that back to you, and then harm is not even in that story at all, right? Because you're not in a place of fear. You're not, so it's literally saying be what you want. Next to Heart Guardian, we have true manifesting is about receiving what is of the highest good for all. And so sometimes personally, even I feel that this is a hard message. When we're thinking about relationships with others, in our mind, we always kind of have an expectation of what we think and feel things should be like, what the outcome should be. Like we already have casted everybody in a role, and we've determined the outcome of this story, this play in our life. But in the event that something goes other or different or opposite than the way that we determined, we can feel let down. We can feel failure. We can feel loss, regret, defeat. But Spirit is saying that the divine has a vision that we will never possess. And so when a situation turns left, right, when it doesn't grow, when it stops, when it's cut short, when it ends, it is because it was for the good of all. And so if you can elevate your mindset to that when you're thinking of relationships with others, you can really progress through any connection and never lose yourself in the story, right? So just realize that. This card comes out next to love and let yourself be loved. So this is about releasing the situations that didn't turn out, didn't grow, right? And just realizing that they stopped and they started and they performed as they were supposed to. The relationship itself, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. The script we determined for it to take on was not divinely ordained, right? And so whatever happened is good for all. And so Spirit is saying, trust us. When a relationship ends, when a connection fails, when someone comes in that intuitively speaks to your soul, when connections go left or right, trust the divine knows best. And this is for your good. But never let the outcome of one relationship stop or determine the journey of another. And so this is what Spirit is saying. Let go of the need to have control over the relationship and the need to be right or wrong about anything. Just experience it because the divine is at play and you are just a role in the story, right? And so And so when Spirit asks you to be a peacekeeper in your connections, Spirit is just saying to accommodate the other energies even when we don't understand them, right? Because it's for our own good. Let's not resist, let's not control. Let's just see how this story manifests. Next, a peacekeeper. We have directing my focus onto what's thriving creates more of what I want. Well, we mentioned that when we talked about vibrating. If we want love and joy, then we have to be love and joy, right? If we want to protect ourselves from harm, then we have to be good because we can attract good to us. We don't have to worry about harm coming our way. Naturally, it will, but that's where the divine is in our corner, right? And so this is about literally focusing your energy, putting your energy into what you want. And so when relationships crumble, break down, halt, we don't want to focus on what has broken it. Let's just focus on what we want. What do we really desire in our connections with others? And I think this is important for 3 because you guys are just so social. 2 extra cards came out. I believe I'm worthy. I'm so sorry if the lighting is off. I believe I'm worthy of feeling good, right? That's who you are. Vibrationally as a 3, you're all about joy. Lastly, each time I choose to tune into Spirit, guidance of the highest truth shows up for me. So when we don't have the answers, when we don't know, when we're feeling low, when we're feeling lost, and this is when we're like, all right, Spirit, show us the way because we don't know. That simple. And then listening, but just knowing that the answer is there, right? And so when Spirit says shaman, trust your higher forces, that's the energy. Right? Trust that we're here and that we can offer you the truth that you don't have. But please realize that that feeling good is a vibration that you should possibly stay in because that's who you are. All right, bottom of the deck, it says, I'm in awe of the magnificent guidance that's available to me. Again, this is guidance. This is something outside of yourself. This is realizing that Spirit is supporting you. Right? That Spirit is here. I feel like 3 so far, based on what we've got, this is about you just really trusting the connection and trusting your space and your relationship in and outside of Spirit. Realize that it exists everywhere at all times and you're never alone. And when you don't know what to do, where to go, how to feel, when you don't know those things, the best way to get yourself back to center is to make sure that you're operating in a space of love, in a space of joy, right? Making sure that you're trusting, that you're not resisting any possibility. You're like, listen, however this thing plays out, I'll take it because I know it's the best. It's being in that space where we just expect Spirit to show up for our good, no matter what it looks like or feels like. And that's hard to do, but Spirit has the shaman card here. And so you naturally are a shaman, which means that you and Spirit are intertwined. Like that's what makes you you. What makes you, the force that you are is the fact that Spirit is so prevalent in your space. Whether you consciously acknowledge that or not, Spirit is asking you to trust that is true for you. You possess wisdom, right? You potentially are an old soul. You have lived many lives. And so allow that to guide you. All right. So bottom of the deck, we have 2 of Wands. This is about really seeing the future that we desire, planning for our future, creating the story that we want to tell, creating the story that we want to see in our own life. I had an extra card come out. That was the Queen of Wands. And so we'll just reference this, but I definitely wanted to make note of it just in case you guys do your own readings and you pulled this card today and we're, pulling the same energy. So in the center, we have the Chariot, and this is about moving forward. This is about, we have the white and the black horse, and I feel like sometimes those colors or shades talk about the duality in life, right? The positive, the negative, the high, the low. And so this is saying that with everything that we've been through, with all the experiences that were low and high, right now in this space and time, we are actually progressing forward. So no matter whether you see in your own life the black or the white horse, realize that you are making progress no matter what it looks like. And as you move forward, experiences will give you both vibrationally. You are going to continue to have highs and lows, but you have to realize that that is all a part of progressing. You have to have it all if you want to go forward at all. And so right now, 7, that's a number of intellect, of introspection and intuition. And this is about you choosing intuitively to accept that you are moving forward no matter what it looks like, no matter what it feels like. Progress is yours, right? There's no going back. I am moving in the direction that I most desire for myself. This is where my life is going. I take all and I embrace all that is to come. And so, in moving forward, Spirit is saying that if you really want to progress yourself forward, this is where the heart guardian comes in. This is about your heart space. This is about opening yourself up to love. Relationships have a tendency to close us off to the possibility of what we can experience. And so, as a 3, relationships are where you get to really express and show yourself off. And so, think about where you've come from. And as you move forward, Spirit is asking you to unguard your heart, to accept that love is going to come to you, but it also has to come through you. We have to be what we want. And so when we are making connections, we must be authentic and we must be in tune with ourselves. We also have the Ace of Swords, and this is about knowledge. This is about truth, clarity, understanding. This is about having a sound mind. This is about mentally aligning ourselves with the divine. This is about being tapped in. And so this is the shaman energy. This is about trusting in the higher forces. And so no matter what problem, no matter what you deal with in life, no matter what comes to you, this is always knowing that the divine is at play. It may not always make sense to us, but it is totally necessary for our story. And if we want to know more, if we want to understand, if we want to seek, then the divine is available to us, right? But we have to be in a position to receive. And so the Ace of Swords is totally willing to receive what the divine is giving. And because you're in that state of trusting and of knowing that the divine is at play, that's where you step into the shaman energy. And then it's just a continuous relationship, a continuous download of information. So as you progress and move forward in the Chariot energy, where are you going? We have the Empress, right? This is an energy of nurturing, of giving life, of birthing something, right? This is Mother Earth, right? Home to millions of species, many habitats, right? This is about creating a fertile ground for something to grow. So what is it that you want to grow? What is it that you want to create? What is it that you're establishing? The energy that you should be in when you are growing or birthing or creating something. As 3s, you're very expressive and creative and artistic. So you could be doing anything at any time. But this is about living in that energy, right? Because we want to manifest our babies, right? We want the seeds that we have to come to fruition. And so when things present themselves to us, we have to accept that they are for our highest good and for the good of all, right? Even if they show up in packages that are a little foreign. Now, beneath the Chariot, we have the King of Swords. And so we're making progress forward, but we also have this energy of of just being no nonsense, right? Maybe at times we can be accused of being cold or harsh or bitter, or but nonetheless, this is about having wisdom and intellect and knowledge and understanding how to use it to create a life free of chaos. Right. And so this is where spirit comes in with the peacekeeper energy, because spirit is saying, listen, even if you know the truth, don't feel like you have to beat someone with truth because they can't hear it. The desire you have to be right is your own. If you're right, you're right. But in this sense, we don't want to cut people out or cut people off. We really want to keep a bridge between us so that we can go back and forth between energies and relationships. We want energy to be fluid and open, right? We always want to be love and allow love. And so the way to do that is, even when another is wrong or has failed, we want to always just be just this fluid energy. We realize that the peace is the priority. It's not about the failure. And so be mindful of the King of Swords, because that's an energy where truth, clarity, and wisdom, and that takes priority. But in this situation, we want to use our sword or not use our sword to maintain peace. So beneath the Ace of Swords, how do we get this download? How do we tap into this shaman energy that we possess? How do we trust in the higher forces? Well, we have to drop into the energy of the force. This is being at rest, right? This is saying, you know what? I'm going to turn myself down so that I can turn spirit up. Right? This is realizing that in this situation, we have to reflect, we have to meditate, we have to, this is much needed rest. This is when we do less to get more. And so when spirit says tap into your shaman energy, trust us, what does that look like? That looks like you releasing and literally going to sleep. Just being like, you know what? I'm going to totally surrender, because it's only in that space that I can see what's really happening. And it's in that energy that we realize the guidance that is available to us. It is when we stop and do nothing that we get to see spirit show up in our own life. Now, we have the energy of the Four of Pentacles, right? So the King of Swords is about cutting things out or not, and just really allowing spirit to, and then the Four of Swords talks about relinquishing all of our own power to that of spirit, and just really taking a rest and realizing that at this point our job is done. We have to stop. Now, the energy of the Four of Pentacles, this talks about holding on to things. Maybe we're afraid of scarcity and we don't want to let go of what we have, because in the future, we may need it, right? So are we stingy? Are we selfish? What are we stubborn about? But nonetheless, the four is about responsibility. And so you're doing whatever you're doing because you feel like it's a part of what you are responsible for and to. Now, Spirit is asking you to focus on everything that's going well in your life. Don't focus on what's going wrong, because when we're focusing on all the wrong things, we tend to hold on to what we think is good, but nothing is good or bad. It's just all necessary for our story. And so we don't have to live in this space of being fearful of what's to come if we just focus on everything that is thriving. Because when we focus on what's thriving, that's what's going to continue to come. So we can just be fluid and free, right? Our eyes can be open, our hands can be free. We can experience things. That's the energy Spirit is asking you to step into as you progress into this new birthing, into this new Empress, this new energy. Let go of your own control and need for protecting what you have. Look at everything that is going well. Focus on that, and that will continue to come. And you don't have to hold on to anything. Spirit is asking you to really think about beliefs or patterns or behaviors or people, places, and things, that you feel stuck or bound to. All right. So, considering the Chariot, we're moving forward, we're birthing something. We've got this Ace of Swords download, our hearts open. We understand that in relationships, it's really about keeping peace. As a 3, you are joyful, and that's the energy you maintain with others. Spirit is at play in your story, so only focus on the opportunity that Spirit is presenting you with. As you move forward, as you progress in the Chariot, you're moving towards death, some type of ending. What is ending? What needs to end? Right? So even though you're progressing, and even though the Chariot talks about forward motion in a good way, right? Taking the good and the bad. Well, guess what? That white horse and that black horse is death and rebirth. As we move towards death, that means we're also moving towards rebirth. We're taking all. And so if something has to end, if we have to release something, if something has to go, we have to allow it, because something else must come. And so when Spirit reveals this to us, the necessity for, when Spirit takes or shows us that something has to go because something is due to come to us, this is almost this is the Sun card. So this Ace of Swords, this download, this clarity, this truth that Spirit is giving you is enlightenment. You know, this death and rebirth is connected to your happiness. It's connected to your joy. It's connected to your vision, the plan that you are seeing moving forward. But this plan requires something to go so that something must come. But you have the Five of Swords here. And so that's the energy of you not really understanding how to fit in this new space, right? Maybe it doesn't make sense. Maybe you're not understanding how you can still be going forward and not losing when something has to be lost at the same time, right? And so this is about restructuring your mind. And this is when Spirit asks you, listen, the power that you have in at this moment is about how you feel. It's about your faith, your love, your joy. It's about being that. Even if nothing makes sense to you, even if you don't understand what's happening, it's about living in that energy, right? Until it all falls apart. Because until, no, not until it all falls apart, but until like it all falls in line or it all makes sense, right? Um, and so we're struggling over an ending because we don't know about the rebirth that's coming. But we can really tap into the energy of the Empress and say, listen, what has ended was necessary because what's to come is so necessary. And so we can focus on what's coming as opposed to what has been lost. And I feel like that's when Spirit is saying, be what you want and not what has been almost, right? So moving forward is about taking the good and the bad. And this is just the space that we're in. And so don't be guarded about things that must leave our life, right? Because embrace that something else is coming. So the extra card, we talked about the Queen of Wands. So I keep it, but in this sense, I feel like we have no wands in this reading. We have swords, we have pentacles. We have no cups either. No wands and no cups. Okay. So there's the heart. When Spirit says love and let yourself be love, you know, that is the lesson. The fact that this is not the energy presented, that is what you must bring to this story. You have to bring the heart. You have to bring the passion. The energy of the Queen of Wands is the energy that you need to operate in, even if you can't see what's to come, even if you are fearful of what is around the corner. It is all for your favor. It is all a part of your plan and your vision. And you know, it's mysterious. You don't know what's happening. You may not know what's to come next, but you just have to trust. You have to trust and believe in what you possess, right? And you got to go for it. Whatever you have inside of you, your passion, your fire, your spirit, your conviction, that is your fuel. Hold on to that. Don't squander it, and just prepare for what's to come. Okay, threes, I'm hoping something was helpful. Thank you so much for stopping by, and take care.